Welcome to episode 18 of the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom, right? A couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are currently watching a lot of these Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order leading up to the release of The Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Today we are discussing Season 3 of The Bad Batch, which I believe all takes place in 18 BBY, but we can talk more about that, talk more about the timeline, and talk more about some Bad Batch. I'm Fatheree, this is Taylor. Y'all might know us from the TEX-TREK podcast. Say hi, Miss Taylor.
Hello, hello. And if we could all join together to say happy birthday to Steven. It's his 40th birthday today.
Yes, it is. It's a big birthday. So right now I turn 40. Next year Star Wars turns 50. So, hi, Joel, I see you watching us in the live audience, who's also pointing out that the Darth Maul show messed up our spreadsheet, but we can talk a little bit about that for people who watch us on a video format instead of just listening podcast style. You've seen our spreadsheet. There's links to it wherever you're watching or listening to us. But yeah, speaking of 18 BBY and the year that Bad Batch ends, this is also the time that the Darth Maul show, Maul Shadow Lord, takes place. So that's something that we're going to have to wait until we've made it all the way to Grogu, and then we'll circle back and come back to it. Because we got to move on. The show's got to go on the road, and or the show must go on. We got to get the show on the road. I don't know. I'm mixing metaphors about shows, but regardless, we got to talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. We got to talk about the Solo movie. We got to get into Andor and Rebels. We can't wait a month for Maul to wrap up its 10-episode season. I think they're doing 2 episodes a week on Mondays, and so they have the first 2 of 8 are out now, and then every Monday they're going to put out 2 episodes until May the 4th, and then they'll be all done. But we're going to be actually covering the original trilogy on May the 4th, and we plan to do 3 different streams at 3 different times, so each movie can have its own stream.
Yay.
We got a lot we have to watch in between now and the original trilogy.
I know.
You know, we still have the Solo movie, the Rogue One movie, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, the Andor show, the Rebels show, some Tales of the Empire, some Tales of the Underworld. So the only way we can get through all that is if we just leave Maul behind. I might watch a few episodes soon. I think I might wait till Monday and then watch like 4 episodes if we're caught up on what we're doing on our end. But yeah, we'll definitely at some point in the future go back and talk about all 10 episodes of Darth Maul. But those will also fit into the spreadsheet, into this timeline in 18 BBY. I don't know if it'll fall before or after the 3 Tales of the Underworld episodes we're going to be discussing next, which all this is important though. Trying to figure out when this stuff happens in 18 BBY, because Asajj Ventress appears in The Bad Batch, and then she appears in Tales of the Underworld, which Tales of the Underworld explains how she survived, or how she resurrects, but you don't even know that she died unless you read the Dark Disciple novel.
Right.
So, but then I think most of those Tales of the Underworld stories focusing on Asajj Ventress, which they confirm take place in 18 BBY, I think those must be after these Bad Batch episodes, because I think in those the stormtroopers look like normal, like Rebels, Andor, original trilogy stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. And at the end of Bad Batch, even though Tarkin, as we're going to talk about in a moment, he has like a brand new Imperial Star Destroyer, you know, he's getting like the latest and greatest. His troopers are still like in those... It's like Ezra Bridger's antique stormtrooper helmet. That's what all these stormtroopers are wearing in Bad Batch. So they hadn't switched to the new helmets yet. So there's actually, if you go to like the official Lucasfilm StarWars.com information. They haven't confirmed when season 3 of the Bad Batch takes place. Just it's an 18 BBY or later, but it must be within 18 BBY because they've said that Asajj Ventress and Tells of the Underworld episodes 1 through 3 is 18 BBY, but they already have like the new Stormtrooper helmets in those.
Okay.
So we're basically saying that's my reason for why we're not going to discuss Tells of the Underworld until after Bad Batch Season 3. Okay. And I don't know, when I add Darth Maul to the spreadsheet, I don't know if he goes before or after Tells of the Underworld yet. But it'll be one or the other. It'll definitely be before the Solo movie. Which Maul also is in.
We might see Ventress and Maul.
That's something that I was actually hoping would be the case. I was thinking that might have been the reason why they brought her back in Bad Batch, so that she could have a big role in the Maul show. But I don't know. I guess I haven't heard about that yet. But,
I don't want to know yet.
Yeah, don't tell us about Maul. So the new rule of the show is like you can spoil anything except for Maul Shadow Lord or Skeleton Crew. Yeah, because we haven't seen those yet. But we'll try to watch some Maul soon because I don't want to have to like dodge spoilers all the time. So, and Joel says the first 2 Maul episodes are great. So,
Yay.
Also, Joel, thank you so much for the birthday present. I opened it, and I really appreciated the items in there. They're all Star Trek themed, so I'll talk about them more when I'm doing our Star Trek show, TEX-TREK. But thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, he was very excited opening those. He was like, oh my god, I've always wanted these shirts.
There were some good ones. Well, let's start talking about some Bad Batch Season 3. So, Season 3, Episode 1, Confined. You might recall Season 2 that we talked about last. It ended with the tragic death of Tech and the Tantus facility now having both Crosshair and Omega.
Yeah.
So where do we begin Season 3?
Bear with me 1 second. I need to get this a little closer to me because I struggle to read these when they're over there.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so Episode 1, Confined. At the Tantus facility, Omega is forced to work with Nala Se and Emery on the cloning program. She takes daily blood samples from clones, including herself. Nala Se secretly discards the samples of Omega's blood before they can be used. Omega also feeds the facility's Lurka hounds and befriends one of them, which she names Batcher. Omega evades the guards to speak with Crosshair, who attempts to discourage her from planning an escape. When the Imperials decide to euthanize Batcher for becoming too domesticated, Omega releases her into the jungle outside the facility. Hemlock warns Omega that further defiance will result in consequences for Crosshair.
Our Lurka hound, Amos, is making a lot of noise.
Yeah, he's hearing dog sounds. I don't know what you're hearing. What?
He hears us talking about Batcher, the Lurka hound. But yeah, this introduces the little animal character, the cute animal of Bad Batch, which I like Batcher. I think she's a sweet girl. She just seems like a big dumb dog who would just be so lovable. But I don't think she's like a very like unique, memorable support animal.
Yeah,
I
know this sounds bad. Well, you kind of mentioned it before, but I think AZ would have been a more fun, sidekick.
I guess they were so worried about AZ3 being like annoying sidekick. I guess maybe it like freaked out too many fans when he turned into a jet ski that Fives was like riding around the ocean of Camino on.
They're like, no one will forget that.
No, everyone is mad that there's now a droid who's a transformer, and it's just like not even a big deal. He's actually like a male nurse, and being a transformer is like his like side gig.
That actually sounds like a better choice for Omega's like sidekick, because then she could go jet skiing. Like a teenage sport.
That would have come in handy at Pabu, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe AZ3 should have, like, ran out into the ocean and, like...
saved Omega and Liana. Yeah.
Oh, but this episode is, there's so much, like, ominous dread.
Uh-huh.
But there's also, like, so much heart in Bad Batch. And I feel like Season 3, like, both those things are, like, really dialed up. And it's, like, here, like, seeing, like... the sweet kid Omega in prison and trying to be sweet to Crosshair, and like them having these conversations where they're catching up though, and I love seeing Omega like crawl through the air ducts to go talk to Crosshair. There's like the shot of they show like the shadows, like the grid and like the grading like on her face, and it looks like she has like the crosshair target like on her eye, like
that's
he
so
looks.
Cool. Yeah.
I
also really liked how much this felt like Andor. Like this first
There's so
episode,
much Andor in season 3.
Whenever Emery is taking the blood samples and they're like in this centrifuge, but it's like a clock kind of also, so it keeps like rotating and then it checks the next blood sample and then rotate. And they use that device so good as like a suspense device. And it's like...
Yeah, it feels like a ticking clock.
It does, and it just seems so ominous and very Andor. And like also like being kind of like in this prison where you're kind of like... I mean, that happens a lot on Andor. They're like constantly at different prisons, and there's like a whole 3 episodes where I think it's
yeah,
like
in season 1 they have that prison arc.
Yeah, and kind of is very reminiscent of that. But I really like Emery, and I like Crosshair feeling very defeated, and like he kind of says some things like, well, I'm supposed to be here, like don't try to save me, like if you get the opportunity to save yourself, like save yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
And he's trying to be like an asshole to like to get her like not to care about him, but like it doesn't work. She's like, I know what you're doing. She also has the homemade teddy bear, because like the teddy bear that Wrecker gave her is back in the Marauder.
Yeah.
And she has that teddy bear that then like Emery has to like take away, but doesn't have like the heart to dispose of.
Yeah.
I guess this is when like it introduces the when Emery becomes like the head scientist or the chief scientist, and it's like, okay, well we're gonna do experimenting on kids now. Hope you're okay with that, because you just got the job to be in charge of it.
Yeah, because I don't think that happens after Omega escapes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they blame Nala Se, so she gets demoted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what starts that. But yeah, then episode 2, they circle back to check on Wrecker and Hunter. So we kind of have like the Bad Batch divided, and it cuts back and forth between these Crosshair and Omega episodes, and then it'll do like episode 2, we'll get a Hunter and Wrecker episode, Paths Unknown.
Hunter and Wrecker gain intel on Hemlock's base from the Durand crime family, but it leads them to an old abandoned facility. They run into former clone cadets Mox, Deke, and Stack, who were left behind when the Empire destroyed and abandoned the facility. The area is now covered in slither vines, an Imperial experiment gone awry. Deke helps Hunter and Wrecker avoid the vines and enter the facility to access any data it has on Hemlock's operation. The trio are attacked by these slither vines, which are revealed to be the tentacles of a huge monster. Mox and Stax use the Marauder to rescue the others, and Hunter promises to take the cadets to Pabu.
So, we get the Bobas back, all the little Boba Fetts. Daniel Logan, so he gets to do some voice work. He's only the big one, Mox.
Oh, okay.
The 2 littler ones, they're actually voiced by the New Zealand kid who was in Deadpool 2. He's like the new Daniel Logan, right?
Oh.
You need a Kiwi kid? Well, too bad, Daniel Logan's grown up. But I got you covered.
Cool.
But yeah, he's Daniel Logan's got to be like your age. He's like 30 probably.
Okay.
So if he was like 11 or 12 when they shot Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the dude is like, oh, I have like kids and a mortgage.
And my voice is very deep.
Yeah, but I still play the young clones. Good for him for getting that work. D. Bradley Baker is covered, right? Like he's getting plenty of work, so
yeah.
It's okay to hand off some clones to someone else every now and then. Wouldn't it be funny if they made D. Bradley Baker also do the girl clones and do like the little kid clones?
That's like one of my least favorite things about audiobooks. Whenever like there's a male narrator, they can never do the girl voices, and when there's like a woman narrator, it's kind of the same thing. It's like pretending to be this male. It's so awkward.
But I don't like the full cast audiobooks, because they'll be like, instead of being like, it'll have like the line of dialogue and then it'll be like, he inquired.
I don't mind that as much.
But it's like I want to hear those little things.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I really liked this episode. I liked checking in on the kid cadets, and like it was pretty freaking
Well, I was
sad.
wondering, like, what happened to them? Like, we saw some of them walking around on Camino in season 1.
Well, these 3 escaped the base, and that's why they were left behind.
Yeah, so this is like the other base. This is Hemlock's original base before Tantus.
Right. Yeah, he made a mess of 2 planets. But it's kind of inferred that the Empire experimented or killed the other young clones that were there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty morbid. But I really enjoyed, like, these kids being... They're not really kids. Like, they're still soldiers, you know? Like, they've been trained and are...
like, when they see the Marauder, they're like, oh, I thought I was going to grow up and fly one of these.
Yeah. And I like that the Bad Batch, Hunter and Wrecker, I guess, only, of the Bad Batch, really kind of embraced them and were like, well, you've been trained and we'll just, like, pick you right up where you left off and, like... Even
though the kids don't really like them at first, they're like... Oh, you're not regs like us. You're those weird Bad Batch clones.
Yeah.
It's like, you assholes are going to grow up to be like the guys who didn't want to eat at them at the table in the mess hall.
Make a food fight.
But they see the error of their ways. They're like, well, at least y'all are not trying to murder us like the Empire. I guess we like you after all.
Right.
What does Wrecker say? Detective and effective.
Yeah.
He should have said...
Defective and effective.
He should have said defective and defected. But...
Could have gone both ways, but...
Yeah.
Oh, kitty.
But they also have the Hornbro.
Oh, yeah.
The Durand family, that guy and his mom. That dude who took over Sid's bar for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, that guy's an asshole. Even though Omega was like, he can't be all bad. Ruby liked him. The dumb pet Ruby was a more interesting animal than Batcher.
Aww.
But, sorry.
I like Batcher.
I mean, like, I'd rather have Batcher as a pet, but I just feel like Ruby was more memorable.
Oh, I feel like Ruby would be an easier pet to take care of. She seems less reckless.
Ruby's more like our cat Tux, and you're more of a cat person than a dog person.
Ruby would want to cuddle and, like, hang out and, like, not be too crazy. But I think Batcher, like, needs to be worked out. Like, you gotta walk that thing multiple miles a day.
I bring up Ruby just to bring up that, we thought that, I call him Hornbro. Whatever. There's Durand boy and Durand mom.
Yeah.
He's not really a boy, but
man.
Durand's son.
Yeah. There it is.
He would have actually been so much cooler than Sid. Like Sid,
I know.
Betrayed them. Like this guy ends up helping them out here. You know, like they have to go bounty hunt the Pike who cut off his horn. That guy was an asshole too. That guy was like this like narcotic crime lord guy.
I like that they tossed his horn back to him. Like, that guy was keeping that Durand's horn as, like, a trophy.
Yeah.
And that was... Okay, you cannot be up here, lady.
Our cat is trying to get behind the computer.
She's trying
she did.
She should be nicknamed Wrecker, honestly.
Well,
she's our little accident-prone, break-everything pet. But... the other thing I thought was interesting about Paths Unknown, and I think this is really good commentary, like, on real life, too, of, like, environmental damage left behind by a regime. And just
the military does a lot. Yeah, like, the United States military is the biggest polluter in the world.
Yeah, and just, like... Yeah, and them just being like, this place sucks now, you're, like, I'm just gonna destroy it, and then, like, when it no longer serves me, I'll just leave and let all of this, like, shit just sit here and fester.
The consistent thing we see with the Empire in Bad Batch and in history.
Yeah, and the books, and, like, they go into that in detail of, like the Empire just goes into these planets and, like, siphons them until they're, like, literally dead, basically. Or the people are, like, forced into poverty and like they starve.
Or used as resources themselves.
Right. And then they just abandon that place and leave everyone there to experience their world and decay, basically. You have any other thoughts on Paths Unknown?
I would have liked to have seen Omega interact with the other kid clones more. Yeah. Because she doesn't really get to spend much time with other kids in the show. I guess there's kids on Pabu, and these clones end up on Pabu, but we don't see those interactions. Yeah. So I guess I kind of regret that. But yeah, I like that they followed up on them. And I don't know, the murder vines, I guess that was cool. I don't know if it was that big of a reveal. It's like this one creature, but...
It kind of was reminiscent of the Legend of Korra, like in season 2 or 3. I think it's season 3 actually, where the spirit world is like affecting all the vines in the real world, and it's like growing upon their cities and stuff.
Well, let's bounce back to Tantus and check in on Crosshair and Omega. Tell us what happens in season 3, episode 3, Shadows of Tantus.
Emperor Palpatine travels to Tantus for an update on Project Necromancer, which he believes is vital for the future of the Empire. It has so far failed to reproduce a subject's M count in a clone. When Emery begins testing a sample of Omega's blood, Nala Se urges Omega to escape. Omega frees Crosshair and they go into the jungle, searching for a recently crashed shuttle. Emery alerts security and a search team are sent. Crosshair and Omega, joined by Batcher, steal the search team's shuttle. They are pursued by fighters, but Hemlock calls them off when Emery realizes they need Omega alive because her blood can be used to replicate an M count. I really liked this reveal that Omega doesn't necessarily have a high M count, but she's needed as like a binder for M count blood.
And that they don't really explain it in that much detail until later in the season. But yeah, I guess like a big part of the show is it wanted to have this ambiguity of is Omega Force sensitive or not, and it was going to build up to some big reveal here in season 3. And I kind of like that it's what they did. It's not so like cut and dry, but it to me like it skews more of like, well, she's not Force sensitive, but like for whatever reason, like her blood, comes in handy. Because like they have like other Force sensitive people. Like we see this baby levitate something later in the season when they have like the baby that Cad Bane abducts. But it's like we know that there's definitely like Force sensitive kids being experimented on, and their blood doesn't work as a binder.
Right.
So it seems like something like more unique about. Possibly, maybe Boba Fett also could have, maybe like the original Jango, the original Unaltered. Maybe his blood was, maybe that's what made him such a good clone candidate, was for, the same reason that his blood was good at being a binder for the M count. It was also good for, like all the alterations the Kaminoans would make. Not just to like the Bad Batch clones, but like the typical clones, like they're altered. They have like the accelerated aging and everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this is the animation trying to fix what JJ broke with The Rise of Skywalker, which I feel like Star Wars has done like a really good job of making that movie make sense with through the books and through like the show. But Palpatine is basically, he's already here in 18 BBY trying to unlock immortality by creating a clone body that he can move his spirit into. The problem with that is that whenever you clone a Force sensitive, the clone you make is not Force sensitive. Like you can't repeat. They always talk about the M count degrades, the midichlorian count degrades. But for some reason, if you mix a clone with Omega's DNA, I guess to kind of like water it down, the M count will stick for whatever reason. So, more thoughts on that in a moment. Yeah. But what were you gonna say?
Well, I don't know if it necessarily waters down the M count blood. Maybe it like waters it up. It seems like the other bloods are what's watering it down. You know what I mean? Like the other.
I took it as like the other bloods. Like if they mixed it with the M count, then like it would still degrade. But it was like if you made
with Omega.
Right, like I took it like if you made like a clone that was like half Palpatine DNA and half Omega DNA, the M count would not go away.
It would still be Palpatine's M count.
Yeah. Yeah. But it probably wouldn't be as high as if you just had like a straight clone of Palpatine. It would probably have a higher M count, but it would like degrade immediately, so it doesn't matter. But if you mix it with
Star Wars science.
Yeah. But yeah, like it doesn't really make sense. Yeah. And then we know from the Yoda arc that the midichlorians, that's just what communicates from the cosmic force to the living force, right? Because when we're living beings, we're part of the living force, and then when we die, we rejoin with the cosmic force. Mm-hmm. But
I love the midichlorian conversation.
What I like about the Star Wars animation is they added that little context of like, no, like the force isn't just something that comes from your DNA. The midichlorians are just kind of a symptom. It's just like when you have a lot of communication between like the living force and the cosmic force, the midichlorians show up. Yeah. But
I still have thoughts on Omega's M count, but I won't get that till we get to the Ventress episode.
well, Papa Palpatine comes to visit Mount Tantus, which is like really cool. It's also when Omega and Crosshair are planning an escape, so it's like the like most secure day to do that on. But yeah, like, we don't see Palpatine leave his office very often. Like normally, if he does, he goes to his home planet Naboo.
Mm-hmm.
This is like there's only like maybe like 3 instances that I can think of off the top of my head that he's not at one of those normal locations. It's like he came to Mandalore to spank
Yeah.
Maul. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like he was kind of forced to do that. And then he comes here to check in on Mount Tantus. And then we don't really like see him leave again until like he moves to the new Death Star in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
took that as like he's not gonna leave. He's gonna stay on his planet killer and just like never leave it.
His retirement home.
Yeah, like the bunker Trump is trying to build under his ballroom that he wants to go in and never leave. So Palpatine is there, and they also have that. Oh, I get so disappointed every time I see the Clone Commando Scorch, because he's from that video game Republic Commandos, but he's like Hemlock's right hand man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like he's in on like the experimenting with kids and like all that shit. Like
Yeah.
Scorch fucking sucks.
Yeah, he does.
He like when his inhibitor chip flipped, he just like leaned into it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have any other thoughts on Shadows of Tantus? I guess it's cool to see them.
I thought it was hilarious that Omega was like, we should steal the Emperor's shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
And Crosshair was like, absolutely not.
But Nala Se is what like helped them with the data pad, and this is what starts like Nala Se getting on the shit. Well, she was already on the shit list. That's why they
Yeah.
kidnapped Omega.
Yeah.
Originally, it was like just to get Nala Se
To work.
To work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a little force that they added in like this other thing of like, oh, so originally Lama Su wanted Omega because he needed that clone DNA template, and then it was like, oh, well, now Hemlock wants Omega because he wants to have Nala Se under his thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's like, oh, Hemlock still wants Omega because she has the magic blood for Palpatine.
Yeah.
So that does seem a little, I don't know, that seems like a little forced after
Yeah.
she's already been like the MacGuffin a couple times for 2 other reasons.
Yeah.
But-
Do you think Lama Su is still alive at this point? We don't see him again after he suggests Omega as a...
He's probably in a labor camp like Rampart was.
Oh, okay.
Like, why waste a good Kaminoan? Like,
I guess so.
I don't know. Oh, he's kind of skinny. Doesn't look like he can do much work, but maybe he can help out for a couple of days before he collapses and dies.
Maybe they make him like a chef or something somewhere. He's like probably better suited for domestic work.
Maybe. I don't know. I often think about, like, man, like, that's what we need to do with a lot of these billionaires that have built their fortunes off of ripping people off, or a lot of these, like, war criminals that get thousands of people killed, or hundreds of thousands. It's like, yeah, they need to become productive members of society. Like, you know, like, I want to put them to work in a forced labor camp. Anything else?
Final thought. I liked that when they were finally, like the whole Omega and Crosshair going to the crash shuttle and realizing the comms don't work there, and then they commandeer the Stormtroopers shuttle and fly away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Crosshair is very pessimistic, and he's like, quit trying to like reach out to Wrecker and Hunter. Like, they're not gonna, you don't even know if they're alive. They're not gonna come for us. And Omega is like, they will. Like, they will. Like, she's so, I love her confidence in them. Like, that is never shaken.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see that Crosshair, because Crosshair has been abandoned by them, like, multiple times in season 1. So he doesn't have that same confidence in them. But Omega has, like, literally been kidnapped and rescued by them multiple times. So she's like, they'll come for me. And it's kind of sad that, like, Crosshair doesn't have that same, like, confidence in them, you know? Like, that trust to
Well,
rescue
by the
them.
end of the season, I feel like that's been repaired.
I agree. But, like, in this, like, I like that big difference between the two of them.
let's talk about episode 4. A different approach.
With their shuttle damaged, Omega and Crosshair crash land on the planet Lowell. At a nearby spaceport, Crosshair wants to use force... Whoa, I am so sorry. I'm having a really hard time reading this. At a nearby spaceport, Crosshair wants to use force to hijack a ship, but Omega insists on acquiring the money they need to bribe a clerk. While Omega uses her gambling skills to get the money, Batcher is taken by Imperial troops. Omega goes after her, and Crosshair reluctantly follows. When they are cornered by Imperials, Omega agrees to let Crosshair use his skills to resolve the situation his way. They defeat the troops, free Batcher, and escape in a stolen freighter. Their pair rendezvous with Hunter and Wrecker, who are overjoyed to see Omega, but less happy to see Crosshair.
Yeah, so this is like another Crosshair Omega story, but then by the end of it, you don't get any Hunter or Wrecker till like the very, very, very end.
Yeah.
We do get the reunion finally.
Finally. I'm glad they didn't stretch that for super long. That would have been really annoying to me. Like 4 episodes, I think, was the most I would want of the Omega return, Omega being separated from them. You know?
They go to like the Cockney planet though. Everyone on this planet has like a Cockney accent. It's like, man, like they like landed in London or something.
That's funny.
But I kind of like how it shows, you know, this like really corrupt world where like everyone is trying to rip everyone else off, and it kind of feels like life in capitalism. And like they can't travel by regular transport because they don't have chain codes, or like they can't like show their chain codes, or like, you know, whatever they have, like the fake chain codes, I guess, from tech, but they don't have those on. They don't have, like, they're trying to get on a flight without their real ID, basically.
Yeah.
And then like the TSA person is like, well, yeah, you can bribe me, but like it has to be like this ridiculous 30,000 credits. And so then like they're actually able to like, oh look, we can like win this money, but then like the cop makes us give it all to him.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like it's more of the bigger theme of the Bad Batch, which is like when the world becomes a terrible, shitty place, it's important. Even though it's kind of easy to become a shitty person too, when everyone else is, that's like the most important time to stick to your morals and be a good person. Mm-hmm. And we see that kind of really examined here on this planet. It made me really frustrated at the Empire, in a way that I like to be frustrated at the Empire.
Yeah.
And when they released all those animals, it's like those bird things we were talking about from
yeah.
that dumb droid arc in the Clone Wars, when they were walking around on the Void planet. What was his name? Gascon or whatever?
Yeah.
But Gascon's birds made an appearance here.
I like seeing Omega use her gambling skills again. Like, she learned a lot of that whenever the Bad Batch left her with Sid.
Right.
And so she's like, oh yeah, I've actually done this before.
I was thinking it was like part of her like strategy brilliance, which they established there on Ord Mantell. But like, using that to like be good at gambling.
Yeah, to get money. So that was a good like backstory that came up as like a useful skill like later. I also really liked that in that bar scene where she's like doing the gambling or whatever, what is the lizard person? A Trandoshan.
Yeah, or Trando for short.
They were like, oh, does your dad always like watch you while you do the gambling? And I thought that was so cute. I was like, oh yeah, she's got another dad under her belt.
Why doesn't she just say he's her like older brother?
Yeah, she doesn't correct him, and I think that's really sweet, because I think they are more dad-like. Like,
so the show is really
brothers,
the Dad Batch.
It really is. I agree.
I like his like baseball cap. It's like a Star Wars baseball cap. Like if I lived in the Star Wars universe, I would probably walk around wearing one of those, but backwards all the time.
Yeah.
And he's so grumpy in it, but he kind of looks stupid and like this dumb. He's like in his undercover baseball cap, and he just, I don't know. He looks silly being grumpy. Do you want to move on to the return?
Yeah. Oh, I will say reunion with Hunter and Wrecker was really emotional, with Omega getting to run over to Wrecker and
Yeah.
then run over to Hunter.
And then they're not sure how to trust Crosshair.
Yeah, but she does.
Yeah.
You know, she's unwavering, so I love that.
And she brought them
She's
a dog,
gonna be-
too. She brought Badger.
Yeah.
I was so worried about, like, what would I do if I was Crosshair on this planet? Like, would I, like, go look for the dog, or would I be like, no, like, we have to get, like, the kids safe? And, like, how torn I would be if I had to make a decision like that.
She made the decision for him. She was like, I'll make this easy.
Yeah,
you have to come after me and Batcher.
I feel like he could have drug her onto a ship if he needed to, but...
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't. Alright, what's next?
So the next episode, The Return...
Echo returns to Pabu, and the Bad Batch discusses the experiments being conducted at Tantus. Omega has a datapad from the facility that could give them some answers, and Crosshair suggests they access it with an Imperial computer terminal at the outpost on Barton 4. Finding the base abandoned, they divert power from its defense perimeter so they can connect to the datapad. This allows a large creature to attack the base. Crosshair and Hunter distract the creature while others turn the defense perimeter back on. The Bad Batch leaves the planet with information recovered from the datapad, and Crosshair having earned the trust of his squad mates again. This episode feels like Paths Unknown again, with Crosshair and Omega. Like, it's basically a desolate planet with a monster, and they have to do something in an Empire base to get information.
Yeah, but it was they returned to a familiar location. This is the planet that Mayday died on.
Yeah.
We see those the ice vulture again that was circling Crosshair at the end of that episode.
Mm-hmm.
The thing's still here, as well as a new creature. But yeah, you're right. Like, the big monster thing was more. It was very similar to the murder vines.
I mean, this monster is a cooler design.
I like the worm.
Yeah.
It's like in the captions, it's spelled like WYRL.
Yeah,
like how like in a lot of like old literature, how they describe dragons, they call them worms, spelled like that. And the tension between Crosshair and Hunter is really juicy in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of have to like air this out. You know, it's more satisfying when the result after they work through all this stuff. But Crosshair has so much blame and shame for Hunter of like, you idiot, like, how dare you had gotten that girl captured at Mount Tantus? Like, that was your failure.
Yeah.
Like, me showing up with her should never have happened. She should never have been captured.
Yeah. I also, in this, at some point, Echo says, oh, this wasn't even that big of a fight between Crosshair and Hunter. Like, they didn't even draw blood this time. And I was like, dang, I do like that they give a little bit of that there was, like, a little bit of headbutting between Crosshair and Hunter before Order 66. You know, like, Echo is kind of explaining, like, yeah, they're both really stubborn, you know, and they both have, like, their ideas of what's right to do.
Right. Like, we only see, like, one adventure pre-Order 66 in the shows. I've read one of the comics, so I should finish reading it, but I read, like, one of the comics about them on, like, a Clone Wars mission and stuff. But, yeah, the implication is that, like, those two have always butted heads. Okay, for, like, Ninja Turtles, they're like the Ninja Turtles have, like, this very similar dynamics. You have, like, the leader, Leonardo, who's, like, the good, like, centered one. You know, he's like Captain America on the Avengers, or like Cyclops in the X-Men. The character, like, a lot of people accuse of being like more boring, but he's just like, well, he's just the, you know, like the responsible, level-headed one. Has to be the more centered character. Can't be like the smart one like Tech, or like the loud, fun one like Wrecker. He's gotta be like the centered one. But then you have like the aggressive, edgy guy who's like the Raphael of the Ninja Turtles, with the theme song called the cool but rude guy.
Okay.
And Crosshair is the cool but rude guy, and the cool but rude guy and the leader guy always butt heads. They're the Wolverine and Cyclops.
Okay.
The Raphael and Leonardo, the
Tony Stark and Captain America.
Yeah. Well, is Tony Stark cool? I guess.
I guess he's more techie.
I don't know. Some people used to think billionaires are cool. But I guess he's the cool but rude guy on that team. So, but what I especially love is that Crosshair, he apologizes and he admits he was wrong. He ultimately says, like, yeah, I shouldn't have chose the Empire.
Yeah.
And, like, That's all we want.
Yeah. I forgot what information they were trying to... They were trying to
They
find
had that
the
data
Tantus.
pad. Yeah, but they don't know how to get back to Tantus.
Yeah. Because they want to rescue the other clones that are in prison there. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's other clones being experimented on because Hemlock is creating those... I wasn't sure what they were called, like assassin clones, or like Rex called them shadows. But they're called X clones. Or Clone X Trooper.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But it was so nice to see Echo there too, and just like the whole batch all together. It was like, and it's so happy that like, well, there's no way that this can last very long.
Yeah.
But that's all of my notes. We can move on to Okay, these next two are a two-parter, so we can combine them. But Season 3, Episodes 6 and 7, Infiltration and Extraction. Tell us what happens in Infiltration.
Guarded by Rex and his fellow rogue clones, former Senator Singh meets with Senator Chuchi to discuss their efforts to oppose the Empire. They are attacked by a clone assassin, CX-1, who Rex captures. CX-1 carries a target register that includes Omega, so Rex summons the Bad Batch to his base on Teth. Omega and Crosshair reveal what they know about the ASD's experiments in the Clone X assassin program, which strips clones of their identities to make them perfect assassins. Another assassin, CX-2, is sent to kill the captured CX-1, which he does. CX-2 then sees Omega and calls for reinforcements, who are led by Clone Commander Wolf. And then Episode 7, Extraction. The Bad Batch, Rex, and a few surviving rogue clones attempt to escape the base, pursued by Wolf's men and CX-2. CX-2 shoots down the fugitives' escape shuttle, frustrating Wolf because Omega is needed alive. The fugitives begin a rough trek to an extraction point where they plan to meet Echo and Gregor. CX-2 pursues them and fights Crosshair before falling over a waterfall, from which he later emerges alive. At the extraction point, Wolf is surprised to see his old friend Rex is alive. Rex tells Wolf Rex tells Wolf what the Empire is doing to clones, and Wolf lets them get away. Rex tells Hunter that they need to find out why Omega is so important to the Empire.
Yeah, so this was a lot of fun to see Rex and a lot of the regs, but the opening of Infiltration when they're doing like a
like a meeting with Chuchi?
I just for something I was gonna point out. It took me a while. When we were watching it, like I knew there was something familiar about Teth, the planet. So that's from the Clone Wars movie.
Oh.
That remember, like I think like that's where like Ahsoka had to ride up that tank going up the side of that cliff. I think this is like the top of that.
Oh, okay.
That was when they were trying to rescue Jabba the Hutt's baby, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, also Senator Singh is Dr. Bashir from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Alexander Siddig. So always happy to see him.
But yeah, what do you thoughts on clones being assassins? I think this is actually probably one of my favorite like experiments on the clones. I don't want to say favorite because I don't love it, but like I think it's one of the more interesting storylines with them because it kind of goes back to like that inhibitor chip and like that whole thing about like wiping them and like restarting them and stuff. I think it's kind of interesting too because such a big part of like the Clone Wars is like their clones versus droids, and like they didn't do like a droid on droid war, like there wasn't a clone on clone war, but like in this you really can see like the clones are still extremely programmable.
From R2-D2's perspective, there was a bit of a droid on droid war, I guess.
I guess. But
yeah, they're people, they're individuals.
Yeah,
they're not.
But in this like experiment, it's like they're acting like they're droids. Like they can be reprogrammed and mind washed. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And basically just like create this. It's very Winter Soldier.
But also
Are we...
Yeah.
Can y'all hear us
so,
okay?
Sorry about that.
We had an internet adjustment.
But, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
I said that it was kind of reminiscent of Winter Soldier.
But yeah, like the Empire wanting to strip you of any individuality.
Yeah.
That's like a very like oppressor-oppressed dynamic. But the Shadow, the Clone X, he has such a cool ship. It's kind of like the triangular Jedi starfighters, but it looks like super stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like like when we see it in action later, it's like so. Normally Star Wars is like really loud in space, even though it shouldn't be. But it has like the most iconic sound effects ever. But like this thing seems like so quiet and stealthy, zipping around. And it was a lot of fun to see Wolf again. Like that's like the end of Infiltration. Is like they ended on like Wolf as a soldier of the Empire, like coming for Rex, coming for these insurgents. And then when they talk face to face, and Wolf is like, wait, these are clones, like we gotta trust them. And we know eventually, because we know from Rebels, Wolf is going to end up on Rex's side. So this is kind of the beginning of that. And Wolf being caught off guard, like when he's like, man, like the Empire wouldn't do that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's crazy talk, Rex. But I guess this is Rex planting the seed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Wolf, you let your boy Plo Koon get shot out of the sky.
So mad about that.
So he's gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
But it was fun just to see like these other clones, Greer and Fireball. Fireball has a flamethrower. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I finally got really good at like learning like clone names and remembering like who is who. And I don't know. I love that Bad Batch has like even more clones on top of all the clones we met in the Clone Wars. So a lot of fun with Rex and the Regs.
Yeah.
I guess they also this is when they're questioning Crosshair, when Rex is like, we need to find out more information, and like they don't know. They're like, okay, like Hunter and the Bad Batch, they have Crosshair back, but we don't know if they might trust him, but we don't know if we can trust him. There's like some tension with Crosshair.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Bad Territory and the return of Fennec Shand.
Nope.
Oh wait, is that not what's next?
Is it Fennec Shand?
I thought so.
Oh, it is. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. The Bad Batch asks Fee to investigate the Empire's M-count experiments, and she reports that bounty hunters have been hired to search for subjects with high M-counts. Believing Shand may know more about this, Hunter and Wrecker seek her out. Omega and Crosshair stay on Pabu, and Omega tries to help Crosshair overcome a mental block that is affecting his sniper skills. Shand offers to provide Hunter and Wrecker with information if they help her capture her current target, Sylar Saris. Kitty. After they have captured Saris, Shand says she will be in touch with information. She then secretly informs another party about the Bad Batch and their questions.
Yeah, so this episode ends with Asajj Ventress getting on the phone with someone kind of mysterious.
Shand getting on the phone with someone mysterious who ends up becoming Ventress. We're like all kinds of spoiling this.
We can spoil anything except for Maul, Shadow Lord, and Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, this was fun. I liked having Shand back. I liked how she handled like Omega's bounty hunting earlier. Like she's like she wasn't like as aggressive. Like she was using like her soft skills to like kidnap Omega, and I appreciate that she has both like the gunslinging ability and also like the ability to just kind of like talk someone into going with her. Like I think that's kind of cool. Like she seems pretty trustworthy. Like she looks so
like that's not sweet. Something that like Cad Bane or Imbo can do.
Right, they would never go in and be like, hey, I see you're lost here,
she would be
kid.
So much better at being the Emperor's child abductor instead of Cad Bane.
Yeah.
But
it sounds like she doesn't want to do that, though. which is appreciative.
Yeah, I mean, she seems pretty nasty in The Mandalorian when she's reintroduced then, but that's later in her bounty hunter career, so maybe she's, you know, a little bit nicer here in her young days, yeah.
She's like, I'm just a newbie, guys. I'm just trying to get the work I feel I can do correctly. I actually like that she does kind of admit that she's got this pretty difficult target. She's trying, she needs help.
It's very like filler episode side quest, but I think those are good to do every now and then. And when you do a good one, it's not a problem.
Yeah, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Well, they go to like Space Louisiana.
Yeah.
They're like going down it's like Finnick Shan swamp boat. Wait, okay. Yeah, I wrote this in my notes. Finnick Shan swamp boat side quest.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny that Wrecker and Hunter had to get into the water after she repeatedly was like, I would never get in that water. That water is gross.
That's why I brought you clothes. I didn't want to get in that shit.
And they're just like, ugh. And they get in there and there's like all those mines they have to disable and there's like giant space crocodiles.
Well, if it's Space Louisiana, they're probably space gators.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Gators. But I think it was pretty cool. And I like that at the end she reaches out to Ventress. I mean, that's pretty cool that she knows Ventress. Like, Ventress is also kind of a new bounty hunter.
Bounty hunter gal pals.
Yeah. And, like, they have that other friend from...
With the big feet, yeah.
No, what?
The girl with, like, the red hair and the big feet.
I wasn't thinking her. I was thinking the one that is a colorful color.
Yeah, she's, like, purple with...
Oh, she?
Yeah.
She has big feet? I haven't noticed that. Anyway, I like that she reaches out to Ventress. She's like, hey, I have something kind of up your alley. Which kind of insinuates that Shand knows that Ventress is got a high M count or a Jedi pass. I guess she doesn't really hide it. She does have a lightsaber, so. And she seems to use it on her bounty hunting. But, anything else on bad territory?
Omega and Crosshair meditate. Like, Omega learned meditation from Gunji, the little Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah.
Latz Razzie is the character I was trying to think of, by the way.
Yeah, that is the purple. You're right. Oh, I didn't know she had red hair either. That's so funny. I was just focused on her purple skin. I didn't think about her hair or her feet. But,
oh, maybe it's someone else. There's one of them who has, like, unusually, like, large
The
feet.
jumper one.
Django jumper?
That was from, like, a Clone Wars episode with Padme. Where they were trying to...
Right.
Like, abduct her or something. I don't remember.
Can Aurora Singh be one of the bounty hunter gal pals?
Absolutely. She's
a single mom.
She's the head huntress.
Well, I guess, like, Bosk helps raise Boba, too. But I don't know how he's just this fat lizard. I don't
think Boba sees himself as a kid. I don't think he sees himself as, like, a kid needing a mom.
Oh. How old is he? He's, like, 15 at this point?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess he's out on his own.
Mm-hmm. He's a young adult.
He's like, Aurora Singh's not my mom. She's one of my bounty hunter associates. We're partners on jobs sometimes.
He would be offended if he heard you say that.
And then she's his like, stepmom. Yeah, and like, I also like made your dentist appointment and made sure that you went. She's totally his mom.
Yeah, but he's in denial of that.
Well, she gets killed by Woody in Solo. They talk about that.
Well,
Han Solo's like, you're the guy who killed Aurora Singh.
Why?
And he's like, yeah, I am.
Oh, maybe that's fake. We'll see.
I think they made a comic that showed how it happened.
Wow, okay.
We can discuss that soon, though, when we get to that.
I've only seen Solo twice.
Well, you're about to see it again.
Yeah.
But let's move on to The Harbinger.
Yay.
Asajj Ventress is here. Star Wars can't make anything except for Andor that never lights up a fucking lightsaber. So let's get our the Bad Batch opened with a lightsaber.
Yeah. There's only one lightsaber in one episode each season. First season it was Kanan, second season it was Gunji, and this season it was Ventress.
Yeah, it's like you have to have, it's like on their checklist, they have to have a lightsaber and everything.
But it's
like Darth Maul shows up in Han Solo just to like turn a lightsaber on and off, just because it has to have it. I was so scared Andor, I like all the way to like the very end of season 2. I was like, can we get through without a lightsaber? And I was so impressed and relieved that they did.
Yeah.
But okay, here we go. Harbinger, Ventress with the yellow lightsaber. What happens?
Shan's contact, Asajj Ventress, comes to Pabu. She tells the Bad Batch that the M count signifies a person's innate connection to the Force and starts testing Omega's ability using Jedi techniques. The Bad Batch is concerned when they realize Ventress was a separatist assassin during the Clone Wars, but Omega trusts her. During their final test at sea, Ventress inadvertently summons a sea monster, which attacks them. She pacifies the creature and rescues Omega, gaining the Bad Batch's trust. Ventress tells Omega that her M count is low, but later indicates to the others that she was lying about this. She also warns them that they may not be safe on Pabu. I'm going to add to this, because she so easily found them on Pabu.
We don't know how she found them, which is also kind of annoying. She's just like, I have my ways.
I think she used the Force.
Well,
I think she was like doing a little bit of Force juju.
You know how Quinlan Voss, he had that ability to pick up an object and then he would know, like...
Remember?
Yeah, he
get
could
memories.
like see its past and stuff.
Yeah.
And we saw some of that in The Acolyte. But it's a really cool Force ability that they haven't shown a lot. It's more something that comes up in like the books and comics, but not so much in the shows and animation and movies.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's something that she learned from Quinlan Voss after Dark Disciple, and she was able to use that to track them down. But, so, okay, this is interesting. I kind of think it works better if you haven't read Dark Disciple and you didn't know Ventress died off screen. But it also works, I think, if you have read it. The first time when we watched this, like a year ago, and I was like, what? They're just gonna, like, ignore the book that, like, she had, like, a very satisfying end to her story. And, like, I was like, I liked her before she died, and then I was, like, sad, and I thought it was, like, a good ending. And I'm like, man, it's kind of lame that they're just going to ignore that. But then it's like, oh, they're not ignoring that. They did the Tales of the Underworld we're about to discuss next time that explains her resurrection. And they kind of hint at it in this episode when she tells the clones, like, I'm not out of lives yet.
Yeah.
But if you have read Dark Disciple and you know about her relationship with Quinlan Voss, you know about some of her Force abilities... this episode, in some ways, like, it has more meaning, because, like, her controlling the animal in the water, like, that. Do you remember in Dark Disciple when, for people who don't know what we're talking about, they made a novel, Dark Disciple, to wrap up the story of Asajj Ventress, since they didn't get to make that in episodes of the Clone Wars. It tells the story of the Jedi Quinlan Voss, who we see in the Clone Wars, go undercover with Ventress to try to assassinate Dooku, and which really shows how far, you know, the Jedi have fallen. When in Attack of the Clones, they're like, oh, Count Dooku used to be a Jedi. He couldn't assassinate anyone. That couldn't have been him trying to blow up Padme. So, now, like, you flash forward to Dark Disciple, the Jedi are like, yeah, we're going to go assassinate Dooku. And Quinlan Voss was having to do, like, dark side training with Asajj Ventress. And she's, like, teaching him how to, I think they start with, there was something in the waters of Dathomir you could, like, control with the dark side and, like, bend it to your will. And, and I think there's, like the black snake that, like, she has, like, she kills it with the Force.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I think that was like a Dathomir, like a Night Sister, like rite of passage. You have to be able to like bring like this creature under your power, and then I think maybe kill it, or like I don't know, but it's something that she has like history with. And I think she has like she has like a black snake on her armor. So
yeah,
but we know from the Tales of the Underworld that we'll talk about eventually is that part of the price she pays for resurrection is, you know, she fell in love with the Jedi Quinlan Voss, but now she has to like stay away from him. So he didn't help her find these clones, but she might have picked up some of his abilities. You know? But I like seeing her as I would like to think as like, you know, like a light side Force user who's not really gonna, you know, she's just there to bounty hunt and make a living for herself. She's not gonna be like but she's not gonna be like dark side and try to like conquer the galaxy. But she's also not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna rebuild the Jedi Order or like anything like it. And
I referred to her as being neutral, and you said that Force wielders are not allowed to be neutral.
Well, there's not like a neutral. there's like this whole like people made up this idea of like the gray Jedi, who are like they're not like light side or dark side, and I personally hate that. But it's not like that's not like a thing in Star Wars. Like there's not like there's like the Force has two sides, the light side and the dark side. So it's the thing is, like, if you start using the dark side, it's like if you're using, like, the ring in Lord of the Rings. It's, like, ultimately going to corrupt you. Because that's, like, when you're, it goes into, like, Lucas's kind of, like, Zen Buddhism, yin and yang. It's like there's, like, the white and the black, and the white is good and the black is bad.
Okay. I see what you're saying. But more on this episode. I was super happy to have Ventress back, even knowing and having read Darkest Disciple. I really like her character. Like, I love her last few episodes of the Clone Wars where she's helping Ahsoka and she loses her sabers to Barriss.
You know how I said, like, sometimes we try to cast these characters? And
Miley Cyrus is Asajj Ventress for me.
But then I was reading up on some Katie Lucas stuff. So Katie Lucas, George Lucas's daughter, who was a writer on Clone Wars when she was, like, 19 because she was George Lucas's daughter, was also a big Miley Cyrus fan.
Hell yeah!
And wanted to have that pop punk influence.
Yeah, I totally see that.
Like the rocker chick mohawk. That was her idea.
Yeah.
I like her mohawk when she goes underwater too.
That is really cool.
But I also like seeing her, like, she's not like a great force user. Like, if she like loses control of the creature or whatever.
Oh yeah, but she accidentally summons like that massive one, and she's like, "I didn't mean to."
I think I cut you off though. I think you were saying something else.
I don't remember. But overall, though, I really was excited to have Ventress back. I liked seeing her kind of work with Omega, and I like her being a little softer. Like, she's still hard and, like, kind of scary and intimidating. Like, she beats the shit out of the Bad Batch.
Without her lightsaber.
Without her lightsaber, yeah. Like, they all three, like, kind of gang up on her, which was annoying.
Yeah, well, like, I like when she tells them, like, whatever you think you're about to do, you know? Like I'm on to you. Like, it ain't gonna go the way that you think it's going to go.
And I like that Omega, like, trusts her. I think that is, like, another reason that Omega comes across as, like, very force sensitive. She is a very trusting kid, but I think she is usually pretty right about who she trusts, you know? She's not really, like, betrayed. Or, like, if she isn't sure if she can trust them, like Emery, for example, like, she tries to sway them to her side and, like, and open up with them and stuff. But, like, she immediately is like, Ventress is fucking cool, and I trust her with my life.
That is like a classic Star Wars thing, though, of, like, Luke Skywalker with his dad, when he's like, there's still good in him. I'm not going to give up on him.
Yeah.
And that ends up, like, saving the galaxy. So, yeah, maybe that's something that, I'll try to... Maybe I need, like, a little bit more Omega in me. Maybe I need to be like, I need to, like, see the good in people and be, like, a little forgiving.
You should. But
it's hard in a world increasingly more fascist.
Yeah,
like,
it is. I'm trying to think. Oh, so Ventress and Omega's Jedi test stuff, M-count testing.
Yeah. She shows no signs of, like, obvious, you know, force sensitivity in any of this.
Well, this is something I wanted to bring up because in this summary, it says what I believe, like, because. She says that Omega's M count is low, but then it's implied that she was lying about it. Whenever they're like, you're lying about something. And I think she was. I think she's like, it's not worth, like, I think it's a little bit kind of like how Anakin was brought in too late. And she's like, it's not really worth, like, figuring all that out with her. And also, she says point blank, if you go down that path, like, you will lose Omega.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not going to rip this family apart, basically is what she says. Like, y'all don't need to go down that path. Like, it's too dangerous out here for kids who are high M count. And, you know, she's like, this kid obviously seems safe with you guys, and y'all are a big, happy family. And I think that's the reason that Ventress doesn't, you know, that's why she lies.
And I always view the Force as, like, anyone could learn to use the Force.
Yeah.
I feel like if Chewbacca went and like trained with Yoda for 50 years, like he'd be able.
He could move a rock.
Yeah, like it's and like. Yeah, like it runs in people's family. Like you might be a little bit more inclined to get good at it. It's like with music, for example. Like some people are like really musical, and like their kids are like really musical too. And like it's like a nature and nurture type of thing. And like sure, like the genes maybe like play like some role in it. But like anyone can learn how to be a musician and play an instrument if you work at it enough.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of. View what like Ventress was talking about with maybe like whatever makes her able to hold her blood able to hold the Elm Count transference or whatever. I kind of hate getting into like the Star Wars gobbledygook science. Yeah, but maybe that also makes her like maybe she'd be a little bit more inclined to force sensitivity. But like she's not a natural, is what I.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
She's not. I don't think she's someone who like the Jedi would be like, we need to bring this kid into the Order and train them.
Yeah. The other thing I think is cool about all of that is it really, like I think that Omega does have like a medium M count. That's what I would say, but I like that Ventress like doesn't even want to tell Omega that, and. Because I think that's, like, a big downfall sometimes with people find out, like, they're special or they're the chosen one, like Anakin. It's, like, they get, like, this, like, idea in their head.
A messiah complex. It's, like,
really difficult for them to, like, do what they actually should do if they know what they're supposed to do. Like they say, Anakin, you're the chosen one. You're supposed to bring balance to the Force. Well, now he knows, so he's fucked. He's not going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like... If you're aware, I think, of, like, your fate or destiny, like, I think you accidentally can, like, get away from it.
There's a classical storytelling of, like, of fate being, like, kind of like a curse, It's like, this is what your fate is kind of like what you're cursed to be, and... I guess, like, historically in a lot of, like, old folklore and legends, when we have, like, these chosen one myths, like, these, like, King Arthur type characters or what have you, it's this belief in that, like, it's a scary thing to go and, when you know that certain fate, it's a very scary, ominous thing to have to go, like, face it. And I feel like they show that so well with Luke. In like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, with like this burden that's on him. But yeah, like I don't know. I never really see like Anakin. I guess he's always dealing with like this other shit. He's worried about like winning the war and his wife living.
Yeah. The other thing I think is interesting, if Omega does have a low M count, or like Ventress chooses not to tell her, I think that increases the, I want to say, coolness factor of Omega's strategy and, like, problem-solving skills, because then it's not, like, force-reliant. Like, she just naturally is that smart, and, like, when she, you know what I mean? Like, the last season, especially when she was, like, doing things, and Tech was like, oh, I never would have thought of that. Oh, what a cool idea, you know? Like, she thinks outside the box, and I kind of do like that, not necessarily indicating that she is force sensitive, because I think that comes in play a lot in like the Clone Wars. They're like, oh, these Jedi are so smart and cool and suave and like can tackle anything. And I think Omega can do that. And I think like people,
a lot of Jedi are too sure of their ability, as Yoda pointed out in Attack of the Clones.
But
it's like, I'll tell them fear is the path of the dark side, so you're telling them don't be afraid of anything, and then you're like, they're too sure of their abilities.
Yeah. But I really liked this episode. I loved getting Ventress back, but I want more.
You were like, wait, Ventress is in more than one episode, right? I'm like, I think it's just one episode.
I thought for some reason that she was in 2, but yeah, it was just 1 for the Bad Batch.
But yeah, it was very... But see, okay, great example. It's so memorable.
Yeah.
Like, Ventress, like, because she's a Clone Wars character who actually has some personality.
Yeah.
And she stands out so much more than, like, Fee,
yeah,
or anyone on Pabu for that matter, or Batcher, or Rampart, or like any of the recurring characters in this show.
Yeah, she's cool as shit.
Yeah, so that's, well, I guess my that's my takeaway of rewatching Bad Batch is like its original characters lack the personality that a lot of Star Wars characters have.
Totally.
Season 3, Episode 10, Identity Crisis.
Hemlock imprisons Nala Se, believing she helped Omega and Crosshair escape, and reluctantly promotes Emery to be the new lead scientist of Project Necromancer. Emery learns that the subjects being tested on are children with high M counts that have been delivered to Tantus by bounty hunters like Bane. She slowly becomes disillusioned with the Empire as she witnesses the cold and restrictive manner in which the children are being treated. Tarkin threatens to take away Hemlock's funding if the ASD does not produce the desired results. CX2 reports to Hemlock that he is close to finding Omega after learning about her connection to Phee by torturing Sid.
Yeah, so Sid, the Trando grandma, got tortured off screen.
Dude, I don't even feel bad for her. Like, she's not even in this season at all. This is the only time she's mentioned or talked. Like, and I'm like, honestly, like,
it's like
she sucks.
A blink and you miss it. Like, he doesn't even say by name. He says, like...
the Trandoshan.
Yeah.
The old Trandoshan
He says,
lady
I questioned the Trandoshan and I found out about this pirate lady Phee.
I'm glad she's still alive. Like, I don't want her
Is
dead.
she still alive? We don't know.
Oh, I guess we don't. He doesn't sound like he killed her, but...
He could have, just to, like, cover his tracks, you know?
Maybe. But...
Who's gonna miss her? I guess, like, whoever she's in debt to at the time.
I guess.
But...
Yeah, I actually... I'm surprised. Well, not really, because I didn't super love all the bounty hunting stuff. Like, that always just feels very repetitive to me. But I was surprised I didn't really miss her in season 3. Like, I wasn't like, where's Sid? Where's Sid? I was kind of like, oh, I'm glad that's over.
This was, so this is the first one we watched last night. We watched these final 6 episodes in one shot last night. So... This was that Tarkin phone call when Hemlock has to get on the phone with Tarkin.
That was so funny because he was like in the middle of something and I was like, I bet you Tarkin is gonna bitch about funding.
Yeah, like no one wants to be interrupted to be like, sir, call for you from Tarkin.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna be like, my project needs more money, and I'm sick of seeing that the Emperor is giving you more money, so why are you doing this? And I knew that was the exact conversation. I was like, as having been a project manager before, like, I was like, I know exactly what this call is going to be.
Oh, so you relate to Hemlock's pressures and conflicts.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's gonna have to hold his ground and, like, get the Empire involved, like, well, my boss and your boss, like, it's a personal interest of the Emperor that my project is funded in this way. And I love that
Tarkin... they're both trying to be like, I'm such good buddies with the Emperor.
Yeah, like, my dick's bigger than your dick.
But what were you say about Tarkin?
I like that he was like, what can I do to help you with your project?
Like, maybe if you told me more about what's going on, I'd be able to help.
Like, fucking
it's
no.
Like because he wants to get in and like steal credit.
Yeah,
because you know what? Like, he's not actually... Tarkin ain't out there building the Death Star. It's like that's what Krennic is doing. And like Krennic is doing it with like a lot of like slave labor. If you read the books, they enslave the Geonosians from the Clone Wars, the Crooked people, who designed the Death Star, and then they make them build it. And then we'll find out in Rebels that they gas the Geonosians and genocide all of them and kill them to cover their tracks.
Damn.
But it's like, it's funny because like Tarkin wants to get in on the Necromancer stuff too. He's like, let me take credit for that too.
Yeah. He is horrible. Like, I love him because he's so terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to know his character, and I really like that. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I love it when I can, like, tell exactly what a character is thinking at all times sometimes.
It's fun thinking about these fascists. It's like, okay, well, now you've won. Now you're in power. You've won. Okay, now, like, enjoy your fascism. But, like, they're still not happy because they're so miserable, like, trying to... with their internal conflicts. But, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I imagine this is... a kind of thing that happens all the time. Like, Stephen Miller is like, I need more resources to deport more non-white people out of the country. But then Marco Rubio is like, wait, we need to be focused on the blockade in Cuba. And then Mike Huckabee is like, no, we have to be giving more money to Israel, and it's like the same thing, and they're trying to compete to get like Trump's attention and favor, and while just being like the most terrible people, and doing the most terrible things that can be done.
Yeah.
Cad Bane is still out there napping babies.
He's an asshole, man. I love
Is it
Cad Bane.
napping? I saw that online. I saw someone said more cad napping.
That's good. I love to hate Bane. Like, I love Bane's
I like that they don't
design.
redeem him. I love that they're not like, this guy is so cool, we gotta make him a good guy in his story. He's like, no, like, I'm a fucking dick. I'm an asshole.
Yeah. It's so hard for me sometimes because I really love Bane. But it's 100% because I love the commitment to that character and his design, and he's so ruthless. And that doesn't mean that I agree with what he does.
He's really cool in The Bad Batch. I like him here. He had like a really cool line in season 1 when he was going after Omega that I don't think I mentioned on the show, but I think he says, either by crook or by hook, you're coming with me. I just loved his delivery.
Yeah.
Like when he like scans the baby here for the M count, or he has like the droid do it, and Toto is like, oh yeah, like M count confirmed or whatever. He's just, or maybe he just hands him the results, and he just says, that'll do. Like,
yeah.
like
Minimal.
Farmer Brown, that'll do, Pig and Babe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that old timey, folksy, like Western dialogue. He has like that cool, like Westerny theme music.
Yeah.
It's very like spaghetti Western. But yeah, I like that he's still a jerk, and I don't know. Maybe it'll be satisfying in a few weeks when we watch Boba Fett gun him down in the streets of Tatooine in a very mid show. But
yeah, in this episode's beginning, it makes me very emotional, like that he kidnaps that child, and they literally step over the stunned parent as they're like leaving with her kid. That makes me super sad. Like. It did a really good job showing, like, the emotional impact, I guess.
Yeah, and how like, despicable these deeds are.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to talk about from this episode is Emery finding out the vault contains Force-sensitive kids.
What did she ask Cad Bane about the baby?
Where it was from.
Yeah, at first, like, she's surprised, like, she's like, I didn't know...
younger than I thought.
Yeah, I didn't know we were gonna get, like, subjects this young. And then Scorch, being the fucking asshole, is like, good, it'll be easier to deal with then.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, she says, like, so where does this baby come from? And then Cad Bane's a smart cookie.
Yeah.
He, like, looks at her, like, he's got her figured out.
Reveal more than you would think.
Yeah, I was like, man, like, she's gonna get out of line.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't give it, like, he doesn't tell anyone.
Yeah, he's like... He's kind of warning her.
Yeah.
He doesn't really care.
He's not even warning her. He just wants to, like, show off, like, this is how cool
smart.
I am. Yeah, like, it wasn't even, like, he wasn't doing her no favor. He was like,
that's fair.
He was, like, aura farming. He's like, I'm going to make myself look cool, you know? But, a question like that gives away more than you'd think. So this is the one where they established the Force kids. That's what I wrote in my notes. Okay. Yeah. It's hard not to hate all these people when you see, like, medical experiments on children.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Point of No Return, Season 3, Episode 11.
CX-2 sneaks aboard Fee's ship and retrieves Pabu's location from its navigation computer. Concerned about the risk of staying on Pabu, the Bad Batch prepares to leave the planet when CX-2 arrives and confirms their presence. He destroys the Marauder, seriously injures Wrecker, and calls for reinforcements. With their means of escape cut off, the rest of the Bad Batch evade their pursuers while Hunter tries to steal an Imperial gunship. He is shot down by CX-2. Omega decides to surrender herself to spare the people of Pabu and hoping the Bad Batch can follow her to Tantus. However, Crosshair's attempt to plant a tracker fails as CX-2 leaves with Omega. Yeah. This episode was pretty painful to watch. The people of Pabu, like, being ripped out of their homes and, like, have their homes searched for Omega and stuff. It feels very ice-y. And
how they just come in and, like, totally disrupt the community. It's like, we're looking for this refugee, this enemy of the state, so we're gonna, like, destroy we're gonna destroy all of your fishing boats.
Yeah, their livelihood.
Yeah, it's like, we need those. Like, we have to eat fish.
Yeah,
like,
that's all they got.
Yeah, we had to cut off all of her escape routes.
Yeah, they don't eat the muños. They only eat fish. There was even, like, a line that CX2 says to Omega when she does surrender herself. She's like, spare these people or whatever. And he's like, you should have thought of that before you, like, took refuge here. And I was like, damn, he's literally saying, like, I don't care. I don't give a shit that you've surrendered. I'm still going to torture them.
That's how people do when they commit war crimes, though. Is they like, well, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
That's like...
Oh, when he was like, I could be doing way worse to the mayor. Like, when the mayor is like, what are you doing? And he's like, I haven't even begun yet. You know, I was like, damn, this guy fucking sucks. And it was pretty sad to see the Marauder explode, but I really like that they established in the beginning of this episode that Omega removed her teddy bear and TEX goggles and put them in, like, the Museum of Artifacts.
Oh, that was so cool. When she first got back, out of prison, though, when she first got to Pabu, she's like, I'm gonna sleep in my old bed on the Marauder. Before she, like, moved into a house.
Yeah.
It was so tragic to see it blowed up. But you get, like, that cool character moment of Wrecker as the ship is blowing up. Like, he could have made, like, a clean escape, but he goes back for the Gonk droid.
Yeah.
And then he gets hurt from the explosion. But that's actually, like, a Wrecker thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to leave Gonk. Man, like, you know how much, like, I work out with Gonky? Like, he's my dumbbell. I can't leave him behind.
Yeah, and Omega is close with Gonky, too, so I'm sure he thought about that also. Gonky is a pivotal member of the Bad Batch, I guess. So,
even though AZ3 has way more personality and would have been, like, a way better character to have on the ship, the entire show. He, like, might as well should have died at the season 1 finale, because he sure as shit ain't done much since then.
Yeah.
Fee is at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, she doesn't really make much. She's just, like, fueling up her ship when her stuff gets stolen. I was so relieved that she wasn't hurt by CX2 because I thought he was gonna murder her.
It's a tense situation. Like, I guess, like, she's getting fuel on her ship or whatever. She pays the droid and tells him to keep the change. It's like she comes to this gas station often.
Yeah. She knows him.
But yeah, Ollie, I think was his name. But then when, like, she thought she heard someone messing around on her ship and she pulls that knife out, I'm like, man, this is a scary line of work for for her to be out on her own on this CD station. But then the clone stealth ship looks so cool, like, tracking her ship after that. And then at the end of this, when Omega is captured, I love her being, like, so calm that she just goes back into, like, Gunji meditation mode.
Yeah.
You know how, like, in Clone Wars, we would always point out how you see Ahsoka learn so much from all the Jedi around her? It's like, you kind of see Omega pick up a lot of skills. Like, she learned the, not just, like, meditation from Gunji and, like, driving ships from Tech and, like, all of the soldiery stuff from the clones, but, like, the gambling in Sid's bar and... she knows a lot of science stuff from Nala Se.
Yeah.
And in the same way that, like, we can see, like, these young characters grow and develop and learn all these different skills from all these other characters, I feel like we see that with Lucasfilm Animation making Bad Batch in the last few years in the 2020s. They've learned so much from Clone Wars. They've learned so much from Andor.
Yeah.
They've learned so much from The Mandalorian. I see a lot of all of that stuff in here.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the best stuff, too.
Yeah. But yeah, everything was too happy on Pabu. I knew, like, you couldn't have, like, the whole batch happy on Pabu for too long.
And it kind of sucks because they were literally just about to leave. Like, they were packing up the Marauder to, like, leave Pabu. Because Ventress, remember, told them, like, y'all aren't safe here. I literally found you here. Like, y'all need to leave.
Yeah, it was good to establish that. Makes them seem less dumb.
Yeah. They were taking her word for it. Was this point of no return? Any other thoughts?
I am ready to move on.
Sorry, I do have one more. I forgot. Crosshair missed the tracking device.
Right.
And I felt so bad for him after they'd done all that practice. Him and Omega had been practicing shooting together.
He has, like, that PTSD, like, shaky hand thing. Yeah. Like the droid can't treat it.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's psychosomatic.
Yeah.
And But that just, like, crushed me. Because, like, Crosshair, like, he's not super, like, open with the whole team about how much he cares for Omega. But I feel like in that moment, when he misses... And because she has complete faith. Like, this was her plan, and he's like, okay, I trust you. You put a tracking device on your person. We'll put a tracking device on your ship. I'll do my best. And she's like, I believe in us. Like, we can do it. And then all of that fails. They find the tracker on her, and he misses the ship. And he just, like, his whole body...
It's like the first thing you've ever seen him miss, like, this entire show. He's had everything he's ever aimed at has been shot.
And it's such high stakes.
Yeah,
for him personally.
The most important shot of his life, and he misses.
Yeah. Oh, that just, like, broke my heart for them. But anyway, I mean, it still works out. But I think that was a really good cliffhanger at the end of that.
Yeah, so that brings us to Season 3, Episode 12, Juggernaut.
CX2 returns Omega to Tantus, where Emery tests her blood and confirms that is what they need. Hemlock takes Omega to be held with the other young Project Necromancer test subjects. Once the Imperial forces leave Pabu, Crosshair suggests to Hunter and Wrecker that they get the location for Tantus from Rampart, who is imprisoned in an Imperial labor camp on Erebus. With Fee's help, they infiltrate Erebus, hijack a prison transfer vehicle, and escape with Rampart. On Fee's ship, Rampart explains that no one knows Tantus's coordinates, but he is willing to help them find the facility in exchange for not being returned to the labor camp. Oh.
This is almost a little too similar to Mandalorian. Because it's like, they're already like, okay, like, you have like your cute little kid, even though you're supposed to be like these badass bounty hunter soldier types. Soldiers for hire, I guess. And then, the Empire captures your little kid, so you go get your Imperial friend that you've worked with before out of prison. You got to go do a prison escape before you can go do the baby rescue. And it's like, that's exactly what happened in The Mandalorian. So Season 2 ended the same way as Season 3 of Bad Batch.
I think the coolest part of this episode is the big truck.
The turbo tanks.
The turbo tank, but they do like they play chicken with each other on the bridge.
And like they're shooting the rockets at each other. And those turbo tanks, like they finally won me over. I think they look cool.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, those are. But okay, so this is some cool continuity. Those are Clone Wars era turbo tanks that have been repurposed as Imperial prison transports. That they're using in this labor camp that they're hauling the prisoners around in. And the Empire will continue to use old repurposed Clone Wars era turbo tanks for prison transports. Because in Rogue One, that is how K2SO rescues Jyn Erso. He pulls her out of one of these turbo tanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think like this big truck called a turbo tank that shoots rockets is cool.
It is pretty
cool. I don't know. Like I feel like my 3-year-old nephew would be like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, also I liked in this that Fee has some really cool piloting skills. Like, she actually scares the shit out of Hunter when they come in on Erebus.
I wish that she talked a little bit more about missing tech, though. She's just like, well, any friend of Brown Eyes is a friend of mine. And then, like, that's all she talks about tech.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't you be, like, a little bit more...
Sad? Yeah. Everyone grieves in different ways. But, I liked Fee helping them with this. And doing... She also, like, flies in for the escape. And, like, they jump on her ship after they've been driving on the side of the mountain for a long time, which I think was really fun. There are some... Oh, I think I may have forgotten to bring it up a couple of episodes ago when there was like a scene where the stormtrooper was like blasted off by the ship propulsion, and he was like, ah! And in this episode in Juggernaut, there's like a stormtrooper that's hanging on the side of the turbo truck, and he just like sees the rock that he's about to hit, and he goes like this crazy squeal, and he gets like knocked off the truck by this massive rock. And it kind of is.
There's some fun stormtrooper screams in Bad Batch season 3.
But it kind of is reminiscent of the droids in the Clone Wars, like when they would have like, oh no, and then
Roger Rogers,
or like they'd like fall off or be pushed off of something, and be like, why?
But I just got promoted.
Yeah. So it's kind of like replaced that a little bit. It's a little dark. But
because like an actual human. I don't know.
It's
It's fun to see Fash getting bashed.
Yeah.
I had no sympathy for stormtroopers. They didn't have to work for a fascist government. They could have found a different way to make a living.
Yeah. Also, I like the return of Rampart. I don't think he's a very strong character. Like, I agree, he's very forgettable. Like, I think Hemlock is very forgettable,
right, so the first time we watched Bad Batch, by the time we were into this late season 3 stuff, I had forgotten that Rampart was, like, the big bad in season 1. So it didn't, it didn't really hit as hard. I do love it feels like this was a 47-episode show that was planned out from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happens a lot in animation, like on the Star Trek side of things. Star Trek Prodigy, the 40-episode season, I think the best serialized storytelling the Star Trek franchise has ever done since Deep Space Nine. Because an animated show has to be kind of planned out because of the animation process.
But you know what I think also is important to note about that show and the Clone Wars and Bad Batch is they're all learning and taking inspiration from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was completely animated and planned out completely before they even released episode 1.
And it shows, because they did not do that with The Legend of Korra, the sequel series.
Which is
and that
not
shows...
as good. It's not bad, but it's
good,
not as good as the original
No,
series.
it's a solid animated show, but it's not like one of the greatest things ever, like the original is.
And like, there's that benefit too of like Dave Filoni. He had worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he worked on Bad Batch.
He saw that pay off.
Yeah.
Like, he knows the... I mean, that's the reason why we got all of these Clone Wars stories years later, because they had all this stuff figured out in like 2011. They were already talking about like, okay, how's the Siege of Mandalore going to play out? Mm-hmm. They were already talking about like, okay, like Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Vos will fall in love, and like maybe I never gave credit to Avatar: The Last Airbender, but yeah, Filoni being part of that, he knew better than anyone how much that paid off. And so, the one Star Wars show that he wasn't very involved in was the Resistance show, which both of us tried, neither of us finished.
Yeah.
We're probably going to watch it someday.
I think it's okay. I think it's not, I'm not the target audience. Like, and I think it is a little bit...
Are you the target audience for most of these?
I don't know. I just mean, like, I think Resistance is for younger kids. Like,
I think they wanted Resistance to be viewed by the same people who watched Rebels.
Oh, I don't agree. But
Rebels is like, it's a Y7 show.
Yeah. And we'll revisit Resistance at some point.
Yeah, we'll actually finish it at some point.
Anyway, what we're
That'll be the other Star franchise.
We got a little tangented. Anytime I can talk about Avatar.
When we go in tangent, that's probably when it's time to move on.
Yeah.
So they have Rampart with his new beard out of prison. Let's go to episode 13, Into the Breach.
Omega is introduced to her fellow Project Necromancer test subjects, Eva, Jax, Sammy, and Bairn. Which is adorable because Bairn means baby in Scottish, and he's the baby.
Yeah.
She tells them that she has escaped from Tantus before and plans to do so again using a passage behind their cell walls. The Bad Batch and Rampart rendezvous with Echo and a stolen Imperial shuttle, which they use to infiltrate an Imperial relay station at Coruscant to find the coordinates for Tantus. Unable to extract the information from the station's databanks, Echo decides to sneak aboard a science shuttle bound for Tantus and disable its proximity sensors. This allows the others to dock on the vessel and their stolen shuttle just as it enters hyperspace. Do you want to start?
So, I love that Tantus is so classified that no one knows the coordinates, and the only way to get to it is you have to go all the way to Coruscant. They're like, the capital of the galaxy, the most, secure planet. And you have to go into that space station and launch from there.
Yeah.
I think that is, super cool. And then you get, this really fun story here. The mission to get Omega like in order to pull that off, you have to do like all these other like cool side quests that, but they do it in a way where it feels like you're getting closer and closer to the target solution. You're not like tangenting further and further away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And the prison escape with Rampart was cool. And then you have to do like, okay, now we have to like do like an undercover infiltration here, which is like another cool mission. And when they have to like take like their colors off to look more imperial,
Oh, that
and then
was cool.
follow Rampart around. But yeah, it's like they're having to like re-enter the Empire. They're like they're plugging themselves back into the heart of this military.
While you say that, I also want to note that they changed the Bad Batch logo for these episodes. They scrubbed the color from that too,
Right.
which was really cool. Like they scrubbed their color from their armor in the episodes, but also from their logo, which was. I love when they do stuff like that. It just really makes you... I think it just is notable that people who love working on this are working on it. Like, they're like, it'll be fun.
Oh,
we do this extra work.
And the animation in these last few episodes, like, it felt like every episode looked better and better. Like, it felt like they were, like, working on each episode, like, right up until the finish line to try to, like, get every shot to look as good as possible.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. It's kind of like... that feeling at the last 4 episodes of season 7 of Clone Wars, where it's just like that animation is just like insane.
That's what I like. Part of me is scared to watch the small Shadow Lord show because it's like the animation. I know, and that is even better.
I
like,
know. I was just about to say, like, I wasn't even like, I just like kind of live in this like la brain where like people tell me stuff and I forget them. And I remember that the very first time you did tell me, I thought it was a live action show, and I was relieved when you said it was animation.
Yeah, I kept talking about like there's a Darth Maul show coming.
For some reason in my brain, I was like, an animated Maul show, fake. And then you showed it to me on Disney Plus, like when it dropped on Monday, I guess. And I looked at the pictures and I was like, oh, I'm going to love that. Like, I was like, that animation looks so good. And you're like, I've been saying this for months. And I was like, I just refuse to believe it until I see it. But yeah, it looks really good. So I'm excited to watch it.
I don't know if they've confirmed a season 2 coming, but I'm confident there's going to be a season 2.
I'm okay.
They're not going to pay money just to animate 10 episodes.
Yeah. Sorry, going back to, were we on Into the Breach? I love Rampart in this. He is such a dick, but I love that they like throw him the captain's costume he's a little bitch.
I can't wear a captain's uniform. I was a vice admiral.
Yeah, but I also love that he puts it on and immediately is like, "Oh, I miss this." Like he
like chews out some lieutenant.
Oh my god! Like
yeah.
I love that he is like they lean into that. Like he loved his job. And loved being an asshole.
Loved being a petty bitch, yeah.
I think it was, I don't want to say refreshing, but that was the most unique Rampart has been for like the whole 3 seasons.
Well, yeah, I mean, and a lot of fascists are these pathetic dweebs, so I like seeing them depicted like
he
that.
He loves getting his power back, his control.
But he helps them out, you know, he's pretty good, like undercover, like he comes through in a pinch. This is another storytelling thing that I really love, and I think it works especially well in Star Wars, a place that does a lot of redemptions. Like the climax of the entire saga is when Vader has his change of heart, literally overthrows the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of convenient that he dies after that, and then you don't have to like deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
But like redemption is like a big thing in Star Wars. But what I think is like an important way to tell that story is that I think redemption is there for everyone, but it's up to you to take it and actually change and try to make up for what you've done. And you see Rampart has his opportunities here.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the opportunity he could have become a good guy, but ultimately he makes the choice not to.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cool story to tell.
Yeah, I think it's important to have the potential redemption and the choice of not redeeming. Yeah, like, because it makes the stories that do have strong redemption that much more memorable. Like, especially in this, like, we're working on Crosshair's redemption a little bit still. I think he's already been redeemed.
But
at this point
it's easier to buy Crosshair's good redemption by seeing like an example of a bad redemption,
right? Exactly,
or a redemption not taken.
Also, for it to be someone that he worked closely with.
Yeah.
So like they have like
they're guilty of like some of the same war crimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's important, too, that Crosshair multiple times throughout this, and even, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but, like, Emery brings this up, too, where they're like, I have a lot to make up for. And, like, I want to do better, and I don't deserve to, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, like, I don't want to say it's, like, self-hate, but it's definitely, like, self-introspection.
Yeah, a lot of self-reflection going on.
Yeah.
A lot of, like, this, like, are we the baddies? Like, I'm just doing my job, but I don't know. Maybe, like, if my job is contributing to these war crimes and, like, torturing these kids with my science.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's an especially important story to tell, especially now. And then when they make the jump to hyperspace with that Imperial shuttle that goes to Tantus, or that big cargo ship, but then they have to, like, attach their cargo shuttle stealthily onto the bottom. But they
have science ship.
They have Echo on. Okay, there's a science ship. But they have, like, Echo on board the science ship, trying to, like, hack that ship, and they have to pull off all these things at the same time. And Rampart panics. He's like Echo's taking too long. We're gonna get caught. Like, don't do it. But Hunter's like, no, we're gonna trust Echo. And then it was so satisfying to watch, like, their ship dock and Echo hack the ship, like, and they complete all of that, like, just in time for it to go to hyperspace, and it was very satisfying, yeah.
And that's another thing that comes up over and over again, is how much the Bad Batch
their teamwork,
and rely, and, like...
Which is a very, like, real-life military thing, but, like, these units have to learn to work together and trust each other with their lives.
And, like, that's literally what Omega is telling these kids. She's like, my brothers are coming for me. Like, she knows.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't assume, she doesn't guess. Like, she's not wavered at all. Like, she's 100,000% confident that her brothers will find her. And it's the same thing, like, in the example you're talking about with, like, Echo disabling that thing so that they can launch or they can dock the vessel. It's like, there's, like, 100% trust. And, like, I don't know. Like, I think that's really special to see. And I think it's really good that they include people freaking out and, like, not trusting the process, you know? Like, because it makes sense. Like, they don't have that proof and they aren't close to them and stuff. But what's next?
The penultimate episode, Season 3, Episode 14, Flash Strike.
Hemlock is alerted that the Bad Batch infiltrated the relay station and sends fighters to intercept the incoming vessel. Hunter, Wrecker, Crosshair, and Rampart are forced to crash near Mount Tantus and continue on foot, hunted by stormtrooper patrols. And also bears. We haven't mentioned that on Tantus there's, like, these weird bear monsters.
There's a lot of scary things on Tantus. You got Lurka hounds, you got bear monsters.
And something else in this next sentence you'll find out. With the base on high alert, Omega takes advantage of the distraction to scout her planned escape route and finds the Zillo Beast in an underground enclosure. So now we have the Zillo Beast on Tantus. In the jungle, Rampart accidentally awakens a large creature that attacks them, is separated from the others, and gets captured. Echo infiltrates the base and encounters Emery, who tells him about the other children being held with Omega.
Yeah, so Rampart takes a nap on top of a bear taking a nap.
Dude, I don't know how he didn't notice that was fur.
That's kind of cartoony, yeah. Because it's supposed to be dark under the forest canopy. You can't really see under those trees in the shade.
Yeah, it was a little
He thought it was a rock, and it turned out to be a bear.
Yeah,
it was
also
a little goofy.
Terrifying.
But it gets him captured.
Yeah, because he runs off because he's scared as shit.
Yeah.
Hunter and Wrecker and Crosshair are like, no, we can't use blaster fire. We can't alert the stormtroopers of our location. But then they end up finding them, like, almost immediately anyway.
Because Rampart screams like a little girl.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, he does. He gets kidnapped pretty quick.
But Echo is not with them. Echo is in the base because he was on a different ship.
He was on the shuttle, yeah.
And so he's running around as one of these early stormtroopers, or like the TK troopers, as they like to call them, with, like, the early helmet, and he goes to one of those AP droids or whatever, they're like the black protocol droids. Like, I think AP5 is his name in Rebels. And he takes his hand, and so Echo has to use that as, like, his stormtrooper hand.
Yeah. Something else that made him very droid-like is he used the droid tube to get on the shuttle and off the shuttle.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of reminiscent to when they sold him as a droid to that guy.
Fee had one of those on her ship, too, that her droid got in and out of her ship with. So, yeah, that just reminds me to, like, being, like, a little kid in the 80s watching the Jawas vacuum up R2D. I've thought about those droid vacuum tubes so much all my life.
Oh, it's funny.
But do they have the those other clones, the X clones in Flash Strike, or do they not show up till the cavalry has arrived?
I think it's in the finale. They may be there, but they're not prominent. Something else that I think is fun to talk about is Omega hyping up the kids to do this escape, and like she's
her having to be the leader. She's always been like the little kid of the group. Now she has to be like the mature leader.
And I think it's important here that these kids definitely were not ever part of the Jedi Council. Like, they don't know they're Force sensitive.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I think the only thing we've really seen from them is the baby, Baron, lift a rock or something.
Or it's like a vase at the shop or something.
Yeah, and all the other ones don't show the signs. So, it's good to note that just because, like, there's a reason they don't have the confidence, like, that we assume of kids with, like, you know, like, it's not like those kids that we saw on Ilum getting their crystals. Like, they're kind of the same age. Remember when Gunji and the kids in the Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't have any of the training.
Yeah, they don't have any training, right?
Right.
So if the Jedi didn't all get wiped out at the end of the Clone Wars, like, these are kids, like, they might be discovering and bringing...
Right, like, they would be new younglings in the Jedi Order. But I do like that Omega is climbing through the walls, looking for a way out. Like, it's very cool to see. She's constantly in the walls, man. Like, I think that's a very Star Wars trope, like, working through the vents and shit.
Especially if you're the little one.
Yeah.
And, you know, teaming her up with, like, kids younger than her to show her growth. That's something that the Clone Wars did with Ahsoka.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed the breakout and her hyping up the kids and teaching them, like, oh, you need to stall, you know.
She always does. She plans her escapes whenever there's something crazy going. So it's like she doesn't know the Bad Batch are like at the gates, but it's also like when she like tried to escape when the Emperor arrived.
Yeah, I also made a little bit of an epiphany that Omega kind of releases the Zillo Beast as a distraction, just like Ahsoka releases Maul on that.
At the end of Clone Wars, yeah.
She's like, I'm not rooting for you. You're just here to go cause chaos, you know? And I think that was kind of funny, like Omega releasing the Zillo Beast in the same fashion as that. And I also love that Echo is like, that was definitely Omega, because that's exactly what I would do. And I was like, of course he would, because he worked under Anakin, just like Ahsoka. Like, that's, like, all kind of related. Like, it's cool to see, like, those paths, like, how they get crossed. Like, Anakin probably showed that to his 5 like, they saw those examples, and then it's like, oh, and then Ahsoka did it, and now Omega is doing it because she's worked with, like, Echo, and also she's a little, maybe, Force sensitive, so she's got good instincts, too. And I just think it's fun to, like, see those parallels between different stories. But they're very different, too. Like, they're escaping here, and, like, the Zillo Beast is different than Maul. Like, we want the Zillo Beast to live, you know? Like, it's a cool creature. It doesn't deserve to be tortured.
But yeah, very, very kaiju-y.
Yeah.
So it was just great that Bad Batch finally followed up on the Clone Wars way back when they did their Zillo Beast story, and then Palpatine was like, oh, well, you know, maybe we can... send the beast to the cloners for science. So the final episode, the big finale, it was like double length. Episode 15, the cavalry has arrived.
The children escape and free the Zillo Beast, which goes on a rampage through the facility before finding Echo and Emery. Hunter, Wrecker, and Crosshair infiltrate the base, but are captured by Hemlock's CX operatives. Echo and Omega free Nala Se, Rampart, and the other clone prisoners, while Emery takes the other children to safety. Nala Se goes to destroy the facility's data to protect Omega and prevent the Empire from using her research, but Rampart kills her and plans to use the research for leverage with the Empire. Before she dies, Nala Se uses a grenade to destroy the data and kill Rampart. Hemlock attempts to convert Hunter, Wrecker, and Crosshair into operatives, but Echo, Omega, and the other clones free them and defeat the existing operatives. Hemlock takes Omega hostage, but she helps Hunter and Crosshair kill him. They all escape to Pabu. Tarkin shuts down Tantus and diverts its funding to Project Stardust. Emery decides to join Echo in helping other clones while Omega and the Bad Batch remain on Pabu. Years later, an adult Omega leaves to join a rebellion against the Empire.
Yeah, and I guess we don't know the exact date of when that ending, but Wikipedia put it at 2 to 4 BBY. So, like, during the time that Andor and Rebels takes place.
Yeah.
So, it'd be cool, like, they could do that in, like, the comics or something. Like, show, like, Omega and, I guess she's, like, older than Ezra Bridger and,
yeah, but she's younger than
Sabine.
Hera.
Yeah.
I remember they met, Hera and her, so she's kind of got an in. But before we get to those speculations, let's talk about the clone operatives, Nala Se stuff. I liked that the kids escaped, like, immediately with Emery, because I kind of, like, didn't want them at risk anymore, you know? And it was like, okay, now we can have, like, the big Bad Batch stuff.
And I liked Emery and Echo, like, how much time they spent together in these last few episodes. And you kind of see, like, Emery defect.
Mm-hmm. And they bond over Omega, like, having talked about each other. Like, that's how they build trust, is, like, like, Echo's like, I've heard a lot about you from Omega. And Emery's like, I've heard a lot about you from Omega also. So I think that was really sweet. The whole CX operatives thing.
Oh, so I think it was either the animators or someone else who worked on the show, but, like, it's hard to find behind-the-scenes information on the Bad Batch. There's not a lot of it because Disney's insane and they don't want to control everything. They don't want any knowledge getting out there. And I hate that, you know, corporations control all of the art and entertainment we get. But I did see somewhere that some of the people who worked on the show, someone called those CX with, like, the swords and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're the worst batch.
The baddest batch.
Yeah. So
the badder batch. I don't know.
They cut off Crosshair's gun hand.
Yeah, that was pretty dark. But also, like, in a way, maybe a relief to Crosshair. I know that sounds really bad, but, like, if you think about him wanting to move forward, and also, like, he's done with
that part of his life.
He needs to pay the price.
Yeah.
Like, he has that.
Well, it makes it a little easier for the audience to forgive him. Like, he really gave a lot, you know, to like go here and get Omega back. Yeah. But yeah, like, maybe he doesn't want to look at the hand that murdered all those people. Like, maybe he's better off. Yeah, that hand deserved to be left behind to rot on the remains of Tantus.
Yeah. I didn't really like. This was hard. Okay, I'm losing my brain a little bit, but I guess I didn't super realize how the CX operatives were being created until this episode. Like, I guess we did see Crosshair in one of these machines at one point, and, like, he failed.
They're trying to, like, they can't break his mind.
Yeah, and, like, when we saw all three of our Bad Batch in these, like, CX tube things trying to get Winter Soldiered, I didn't really like that. I thought it was kind of like, I mean, I guess it is kind of Hemlock's last-ditch effort. Like, everything else has failed, and he's just trying, like, anything at this point. It's
very, like, super villainy, though. It's like, why don't you just, like, kill these guys? Yeah. They've caused so much trouble. Yeah. But, like, he really wants these augmented clones. He thinks they'd be, like, the best of the best with his CX operatives.
Yeah. But I did like Echo and Omega and all the other clones, like, that they released team up to go and save their brothers. Like, oh, that was just so sweet because
all the regs that are helping,
Yeah, you know, it's like full circle. Like, the regs had always kind of had, like, a little beef with the Bad Batch, but, like, they've just been saved, and, like, their whole life has changed so much in the past couple years. Like, they're no longer the soldiers for the Republic. Like they're just experimented on and, like, destroyed, like, abandoned. Like it's just crushing. And I like this, like, kind of morale boost that these clones get by being like, hey, y'all want to go on this mission to free our brothers? And they're like, fuck yeah, we do. That's what we know and love to do. You know, so they kind of get,
They got to be soldiers again instead of lab rats.
and advocate, or not advocate, but fight for their brothers.
Yeah.
You know, it's returning to their center. And I thought that was such a good take, because how else are you really going to get those clones out of this I don't want to say depressing environment. They've been completely smothered and tortured. And so I think that's the only thing.
There's an effort to literally scrub them of their individuality.
Yeah.
Of their personhood.
Yeah. And so they get to choose here too, which is important. Echo offers them if they want to help. And so they get a choice.
They're given agency.
Yeah, and they're given the freedom to do. Yeah. So I think that was a really good final clone moment, I guess.
You get that final confrontation with Hemlock on the bridge where Crosshair had to make that shot.
Oh yeah, and he was so nervous because he just missed the most important shot of his life with the tracker. And so now he's Hemlock has Omega in a chokehold.
But she knows the procedure for that. It's something that so in baseball or softball, I saw it more in softball because my sister played softball and my dad coached her. But you got to know the situation. You know, it's we have 2 outs and we have there's one runner on first and one runner on third, and then the ball is hit to left field. What am I supposed to do in the situation? And everyone has to know the game plan for every situation, so that everyone knows what base I'm supposed to cover, what base. Everyone has to know their assignment.
Yeah.
And it's like this. It's okay, you got a guy holding one of us hostage on the bridge, and then the other 2 are here. What do we do in the situation?
Yeah. And I love that Omega reveals she still has that stabby thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she can,
because that was okay, she stabs the guy, holds up the cuffs, Crosshair shoots the cuffs to free her, and then Hunter can shoot Hemlock.
Yeah. And I also loved Crosshair, because he doesn't have his right arm anymore, he has to shoot left-handed.
Yeah.
And he's not used to that. But he gets to use Hunter's shoulder as his second arm. I don't know if you noticed that. But I thought that was if you had any doubts that Crosshair and Hunter weren't on the same page anymore.
Yeah, they're that's the most brotherly
one.
Yeah, that's the most brotherly they've ever been in the history of the show.
That was sealed the deal that the Bad Batch is back, you know? I think it was already, but if you were worried, it's all there. And it's just such a satisfying moment when Omega, it's so quick when she throws her hand up and they shoot, and then Rampart falls over. It is very satisfying. The other thing that I found really satisfying in this episode was Rampart and Nala Se in the science lab.
So that was his moment when he could have broke good, but he wanted to break bad.
Yeah.
He's I'm going to take your science and hold it for ransom against the Empire.
And I was really excited that Nala Se was going there to wipe everything and destroy everything, and I was really hoping... She's
this Empire is not going to take the Kaminoan science from it. I've seen what these people are going to do with it, and fuck that.
Yeah.
I will take all of this to the grave.
Yeah. I love that she... Yeah, like you said, brings up, this is Kaminoan science.
And she probably has a lot of guilt, too. She realizes, man, I built the Empire. I gave them the army to take over the galaxy.
Yeah. I was going to say something else. But, do you think, though, that she was going to go in there and, destroy it and, basically destroy herself also? Or do you think that her original plan was...
This is really dark, but just thinking about it realistically, she goes in there the thermal detonator or whatever explosive that is, and pulled the trigger or primed it. But it's she couldn't bring herself to kill herself. She's I'm gonna stand here and talk to Hemlock until he shoots me, knowing that I'll drop Rampart until he kills me, knowing that I'll drop this detonator and blow both of us up and all of my research. But because and they might have just done this for drama and make it more satisfying to watch it play out. But she could have just blown them up immediately.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a hard thing to think about actually pulling the trigger on that.
I think she was kind of... I don't think she went there to kill herself and destroy it. I think she was originally just going to destroy it and then leave. hopefully with Omega. Because I think she wanted to be with Emery and Omega and, like, just be mom with them, you know? Because she cares about both of them so much.
She kind of says goodbye to Omega, though.
Yeah,
like, she says,
she
like,
does.
you belong with them.
Yeah.
It's cool that she had that moment to say goodbye before she dies.
Agree. But I think she lets Rampart, like, do all that and just lets him stall. I think maybe she wanted to see if he would be redeemable, or maybe she's just, like, I don't know.
But yeah, like, at one point, like, she accepts, like, neither of us are going to leave this room.
Yeah.
And none of this research is going to leave this room either, because we're blowing it all up.
I am kind of bummed, though, that he killed her and then she dropped it. I wish she had the agency to choose to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, whatever. That's not a big complaint.
But yeah, she still wins the scene, I guess.
Yeah, and also, man, it just sucks because, like, the Empire's literally, like, destroyed the Kaminoans. Like, they're basically an endangered species now. Since Taipoka City and Camino were basically just, like, hellfired. But I love the ending of this episode. It is very from a project management standpoint, when Tarkin shows up and he's like, ha 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 ha, this all failed.
Imperial Star So if you're watching chronologically, this is the first Imperial Star Destroyer to show up. So he's got, like, one of the first ones off the assembly line.
Yeah. I just really thought it was and this is just so on brand for Tarkin, but for him to show up, like, already pissy about Tantus, like, sucking all this funding from his project. He shows up, he's like, yeah, this place is a fucking disaster. The Zilla Beast is loose. Like, Hemlock is dead. All these fucking people are dead. All the CX operatives are dead and blown up.
Scorch the clone from Republic Commandos is dead.
Yeah, he's like, okay, great. This is not a loss, guys. Divert all of this funding to my project.
Yeah, Project Stardust to the Death Star.
Oh, man, that just cracks me up because you just know, like, what is the Emperor gonna even do? Like, how is he gonna replace this? I mean, I guess he has to at some point replace Project Necromancer.
Well, you have to read the book Shadow of the Sith.
I haven't seen it yet. Or read it, whatever. Listened. Any of those hasn't been in my brain. But I think it's kind of funny. I kind of wanted one scene of Palpatine here, like, where Tarkin is, like, all confident and stuff to everyone there on Tantus, being like, divert all of the funding to my project, and then he has to get on a call with Palpatine and tell him, like, what happened. Like, I think that would kind of be
he makes someone else. He makes his communications officer
break the bad news. He's like, you can get force choked on the Skype call today. I don't want to get force choked. But anyway, I don't know if you have anything else to add. Like,
well, when you were talking about, like, loving the ending so much, I thought you were going to talk about, like, when adult Omega puts TEX goggles on top of the dashboard of the ship.
I do like all that.
Because she goes off to join the rebellion. Not as, like, a Jedi, like a lot of people who started watching the show. She's gonna be like the new Force kid. I like this more as like, she's gonna go be a pilot. Yeah, that's like the thing that she chose.
Yeah, and something she learned to do with tech and the boys.
But it's like her brothers like showed her a lot of stuff. Like she could also go be like a bartender, like Sid, or you know, she could have been like a sniper, like Crosshair. But she's like, no, I'm gonna be a pilot.
It hit me really hard this time.
And like Hera, her little friend Hera, they were like pilot girlies together.
Yeah, they were. But it hit me really hard this time, like Hunter's speech to Omega. When he was like, I don't want you to go. And she's like, well, I'm an adult. I can do what I want. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, and we've trained you. But he said something like, well, you know where we are. If you ever are in trouble, if you need anything, like, just call us. And that just, like, I was like, I feel that kind of support from my parents.
It's a sad thing to have, I guess, to complete that mission as a parent, to have, successfully raised the child into adulthood. Yeah. It's like, I got the result I wanted, but it's still very sad.
I think we're talking about two different things. You're talking about, like, empty nesters, and I'm talking about, like the full support that Hunter is going to give Omega if she ever finds herself in a pickle. Or in a situation, he's like, we'll come for you. Like, he reiterates that. He's like, you're my kid and I trust you to go do all these things and you're intelligent and you're, you got this and I'm okay. Like, I'm sad I'm an empty nester. But if you ever fucking need us, call us. And I like that, like, unwavering support and, like, that, like, let her go, but also always let her know she can come back, I'm gonna cry again. I was like really emotional about it.
Makes me tear up in that though is just the silent thing of like when she just places Tex goggles on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be like her little like decoration in her car.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that I heard D. Bradley Baker talk about. I was like reading some interviews with him. Trying to find like some behind the scenes information on Bad Batch to talk about because I guess I'm just hungry to like learn more about this show.
Yeah.
But he said he's the father of 2 daughters, so he said that the last episode of the show like really like hit hard with him, and I think he had to be talking about this scene. This was something he did like before it had aired to promote it. So I had something else I was going to say about that, but not sure what it is. But I guess just, I guess that was the Hunter successfully raised his kid. Now he's just an old clone with gray hair.
Yeah. I liked his grown-out beard and everything. It was very sweet.
Yeah, it was cool to see them all a little older, yeah. So, that's the Bad Batch, though. I guess just the last thing. How does this rank up to the other Star Wars we've watched? We did The Acolyte, we've done the prequel movies, some Tales of the Jedi stuff, some like Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Underworld. Like we saw Cad Bane's origin story. But like all of the Clone Wars and now all of the Bad Batch. Like I still stand by what I said. Like the Bad Batch doesn't hit like those like greatest of the great moments of Clone Wars, but like I'll say it comes close, and it's like very consistent. And it never. If the worst episode we get is like Tech learns the pod race,
that wasn't super.
And he kind of turns into like Sonic the Hedgehog. He's kind of like this like cocky asshole about it for 23 minutes. But I agree. Like it's not that bad.
I think. For me, Season 1 and Season 3 are the strongest. And I think for different reasons. Like, Season 1 has more of, like, that episodic feel. And it's...
kind of more mission of the week.
And also, like, exploring your characters and character development and stuff. But in Season 3, I think it's very strong because it has an overarch, which is interesting to be, like, the exact opposite of Season 1. But it's... I think... I hadn't seen Andor... when I had watched Bad Batch.
Originally.
This was the first time that I've seen Andor and now have rewatched the Bad Batch.
Yeah, about a year ago we watched the second half of Bad Batch for the first time, and then we watched all of Andor.
Yeah, and I can see that info at all because I didn't know about it before. And I'm really impressed by the high stakes, the high suspense in Season 3. I think there's a couple of weak episodes, but they're not like weak. They're just like not as strong or as interesting, I guess. Or they're kind of repetitive. But overall, I think Season 3 was very strong. And I think when I want to watch it again, I would still think Season 1 is what I would really want to watch. But Season 3 is a close second.
I kind of just think of it as all like it's just one 47 episode story.
Yeah.
But the same way I feel like it's kind of narrower than Clone Wars and a lot of other Star Wars in terms of like quality. Like it never gets bad, but it only ever gets like so great. I think it's also just kind of like the focus of the show is also kind of narrow, which like I think was appropriate. Like I'm glad that it like the Bad Batch, they're not like doing like Ilum Crystal stuff with Jedi kids or they're it's not. They're not like fighting Darth Maul, or they're not doing like these weirder things, or I guess like these some of the more exotic parts of Star Wars. There's not like Night Sisters and stuff. It's a little bit more grounded. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a little bit more, and they just kind of deal with like it is like Andor in that sense. But I guess I don't know. I'm being a hypocrite because I say Andor is like my I think it's like the best thing they've made outside of the original trilogy. But it's a little limited in its scope, or the part of Star Wars that it can like focus on, or like. So I guess that kind of keeps the Bad Batch from. It makes me not want to say it's like my favorite thing we've watched so far, But
That's pretty good.
yeah, I mean, like, I would be a lot more enthused right now to turn around and rewatch The Bad Batch than rewatch The Acolyte or rewatch The Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know. I certainly I appreciate it a lot. Just for whatever reason, I'm just reluctant to say it's like one of my favoriteest things.
Yeah.
But it's pretty damn good. It's pretty high up in my list of things in Star Wars I like. But that'll be it for our Bad Batch coverage. So we are done for now. But more to come soon. So Taylor, what's next after the Bad Batch?
All right, we're doing some Tales of the Underworld, Solo, a Star Wars story, all of Obi-Wan, and I think for the next episode we'll cover is Tales of the Empire. And then after that will be Andor heavy for a while.
Yeah, so next time is going to be a lot of Solo and Kenobi and some other tells. But
this will be the first time I've watched Obi-Wan again.
It's the first time you've rewatched it.
There we go. That's what I'm trying to say.
But yeah, it'll be fun to talk about it with, in the context of all this other stuff we've watched recently. And, and then we love Andor and Rebels, so those are going to be a lot of fun to talk about when we get there. But that will be it for today. But remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.